this may disrupt the entire energy industry. This new agreement between Kazakhstan, Russia, and China is a game changer. The plan is to construct a new international gas pipeline to connect Russia and China by way of Kazakhstan. This new pipeline will allow the transfer of Russian gas to China quickly and efficiently. Although there is a lack of information available to the public, the project's final details are expected to be finalized soon. What would this pipeline imply to the energy industry? Is this plan viable despite funding and geopolitical issues among the nations? But before we continue, allow me to welcome you to another video of Finance Sense, where we cover all the latest trends in the financial markets and the economy. In this video, we will examine the significance of the gas pipeline project and the broader connections between Kazakhstan, Russia, and China's energy sectors, considering factors such as Western sanctions and the economic interests of each nation. So make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new to our channel, and turn on the notification bell to keep posted. With that being said, let's start. Kazakhstan has just made a very interesting announcement involving both Russia and China. The country is looking into the possibility of constructing a brand new international gas pipeline that will pass through its nation and link to China. It's crucial because it will make providing Kazakhstan's eastern regions with natural gas supplies easier. By May 1, a final decision will be made about whether or not to move forward with the project. The goal is to construct a pipeline that will transfer Russian gas to China quickly and efficiently through Kazakhstan's eastern territories. However, the details of the plan are not currently available to the general public. Gazprom and the Kazakhstani Energy Ministry met in May to discuss gasification in the country's eastern and northern regions, where they agreed to collaborate on resolving urgent problems. Additionally, in October 2021, Maxim Mizagaliyev, a former energy minister of Kazakhstan, suggested a favorable gas supply agreement between his country and Russia. Due to Western sanctions, Moscow has been concentrating on the Asian energy markets. This caused Russian gas exports to drop by 25% in 2022, but China has gotten more Russian gas than ever before through the Power of Siberia pipeline. Although Australia has long been China's top supplier of liquefied natural gas, China is the world's third largest user of natural gas after Russia and the United States. Nonetheless, China is looking for additional reliable gas suppliers, and Russian gas reserves are crucial to Beijing. Since it lost half of the European energy market, Moscow wants to expand its presence in China's energy sector. It is also essential to take a step back and assess the broader picture of Kazakhstan's, Russia's, and China's connections. Through transit and energy corridors, Kazakhstan is essential for tying Asia and Europe together. But there are also conflicts between the nations. For instance, since Russia's war with Ukraine began, the country has reduced the quantity of oil it transfers from Kazakhstan. Moreover, the closing of Kazakhstan's border with China last year as a result of China's zero-COVID policy had a detrimental effect on Kazakhstan's trade revenue and economy. Despite the recent developments in the area, Kazakhstan remains reliant on Russia to satisfy its economic demands. According to the Eurasian Development Bank, Kazakhstan has received over $11.2 billion in foreign direct investment from Russia over the last 5 years. Many individuals from Kazakhstan and Central Asia travel to Russia in order to find jobs and support their families. The budgets of the Central Asian nations are, therefore, significantly impacted by this financial assistance. Additionally, Kazakhstan provides a vast amount of energy to Europe with the help of Russia. The majority of Kazakhstan's oil is transported to international markets through pipelines that pass through Russia. Every year, about 76% of the nation's oil is sent to Europe, which has been crucial for meeting the continent's energy demands. The government of Kazakhstan has stated that partition in Russian-led projects is possible, provided that Russia respects Kazakhstan's independence and national interests. Currently, China's #1 choice for investments in Central Asia is Kazakhstan. China has contributed almost $30 billion to the Kazakh economy over the past 15 years. According to some analysts, the actual amount may be substantially higher. The debt of Kazakhstan to China is 16% of its GDP, which is typical of Central Asian nations. Additionally, Beijing's Belt and Road Initiative strengthened the relationship between China and Kazakhstan. It concentrated on investment in Central Asian transit and energy infrastructure, as well as industry development. In addition, Kazakhstan supplies 16% of China's oil. In order to send additional containers from China to Kazakhstan, Russia, Europe, and Central Asia, they even built a terminal at the port of Lianyongang. This will boost global commerce and provide Astana with more transit and logistical options. Even if the project's technical details still need to be worked out, it is evident that billions of dollars will be required to finish it. Moreover, obtaining money might also prove difficult, given the Western sanctions against China and Russia. According to some analysts, there are various issues that make it unlikely that Russia and Kazakhstan would begin the project as intended. Borrowing money from Beijing is one option, but given how dependent Kazakhstan would become on China, if they did this, it's possible that they won't pursue the course of action. As a result, Kazakhstan might look into further avenues for obtaining assistance for its energy and transit infrastructure. They could consider the West as a source of funds and potential partners. Meanwhile, Kazakhstan declared in March that it would monitor the goods being sent across its borders to Russia for re-export. They will track the items until they arrive at their final destination. This is because certain individuals and businesses outside of Russia may be assisting the country in evading sanctions. Kazakhstan is close to Russia, and last year's sanctions prevented Russia from purchasing many goods from the West. Furthermore, they noted that many European goods that were shipped to Russia for re-export really originated in nations without trade restrictions with Russia, such as Turkey and China. In reality, it's merely re-exporting, but the Russians refer to it as parallel imports. Coming from nations like Kazakhstan and Armenia that share a customs union with Russia are participating. They purchase goods from Western companies that have either stopped exporting to Russia as a result of the invasion of Ukraine or as a result of sanctions. Moreover, locals or Russians can own these businesses. Typically, these items include Western products such as smartphones. Companies will transfer them to Russia once they get to the third-party nations. In addition, the Russian government has an inventory of approved parallel imports, so companies do not need permission from the original manufacturer to bring in the most recent phone models. The huge pipeline and supply arrangement Russia and Kazakhstan are proposing demonstrates their expanding commercial ties. Hi, it looks like you've reached the end of this video. Thank you for watching this far. Please subscribe and give a like if you enjoyed it, and comment your thoughts in the comment section. This is Finance Sense, helping you keep up with all the latest trends in the financial markets and the economy. See you around.